Hello everyone and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, and this video is much later than usual. We did release a video going over Dormammu decks this morning. We're going to go over the Datamines later in the day at Daily Reset, but the Datamines, instead of releasing at 11 a.m. as they usually do, released at 1 p.m., apparently the time that they will be going forward, which put a big dent in everything as my son got home from school and I had to do a whole bunch of other family stuff. Sorry about that. It is not too late, however, to talk about one of the stranger Marvel Snap seasons. It seems like just in time for September, the return to school, the return of students using ChatGPT too damn much. We've got Robot season. Robot Marvel season is coming in September. We also are going to know what the October season is and look at some of the best variants. But first, the season pass card for September is going to be Viv Vision. This is Vision's daughter from an amazing Vision series, which is from like 10 years ago. That's 100% worth reading if you can track it down. Viv Vision was the star of that series. She's since fallen a little bit out of the spotlight, but she was a major character there for a while. Viv Vision comes after, 2 months after the previous Fantastic Four season, when we get a bunch of end-of-turn effects. Viv Vision really works super well with these end-of-turn effects. She is an end-of-turn, give each card in your hand +1 power if you're winning here. Otherwise, move this to another location. So this is basically just better Nakia if you can win that location once. That seems like it's probably going to be really, really strong. Getting +1 power to your hand multiple times is just wildly strong. That obviously goes in hand buff, right? The other place that goes is a nice Hydra Stomper Kraven deck. I think that deck will really love Viv Vision, either buffing your hand or moving a card has extra value in that deck, and that is a deck that's going to be really great. I think Viv Vision is going to be a very good card in hyper-specific decks. Particularly, I think like End-of-Turn Surfer is a real list, and Viv Vision will be in that list. Viv Vision is going to be in a hand buff Surfer, and she's going to be really good in the Scream, Kraven, Hydra Stomper versions of Move. This is a really cool season pass card, and I'm excited to see it come to Snap. It seems like we are continuing the practice past August of putting a second card in the season pass, making it a $20 purchase if you want the Series 4 card, and it's going to give us Sparky on 9/2, same day as Viv Vision. If you buy the premium pass, you get not just Viv Vision, but you will get Sparky. Sparky seems really good. Activate. Give your last card that move +2 power and move it back to its previous location. This is obviously meant to go with Viv Vision. When you know you're not going to win that location, you can use it, and then you get +2 on Viv. She moves back there, giving her a better chance of winning that location at the end of the turn. Okay, sure, right? Like, that seems decent. What it's really good for, though, is Human Torch. Human Torch getting an extra move and +2 power is huge. It's going to double that +2 to +4, and that extra move is going to double the whole power. So you love to see that. Sparky is going to be incredible with Human Torch. It's fine with Viv Vision, and I know that's what it's made for, but if they don't nerf the original Human Torch with this, that's going to be a semi-broken combo. It's going to go in every bounce deck from here to eternity, literally. Just like, you'll take a second bounce. Organized Hercules that you can activate whenever you want for 2/3 is just like a card that bounce decks are extremely interested in. This is the second month in a row after Silver Surfer the previous month where the $20 pass is a great card, so they are really trying to incentivize us buying this, as I'm starting to come to the conclusion that they're just short money because they seem to be like really, really, really looking for extra ways to make money. And this one is it. This is Sparky, a card that if you like Move, you're going to really, really want to own as soon as possible. There are a bunch of cards that are going to be released in the beginning of the season, but first we have Moira X. I don't want to spoil who Moira X is as a character. If you haven't read House of X and Powers of X, you absolutely should. But 9/2, the Spotlight card that releases with Viv Vision and Sparky, is going to be Moira X, so that'll be the 6,000 token card. It is a 1/2. When this is destroyed, get a copy of your opening hand. So there are some decks that probably want this. I can see like a Morgana deck being pretty happy with this. This is yet another card like Nova, like Uncle Ben, that is happy to die and do extra stuff. It's probably good with Dormammu. It seems like a decent card. I think a lot of Moon Girl She-Hulk stuff, if you can figure out how to run that deck and run Killmonger, is going to be very happy with this. There were old sort of destroy She-Hulk death decks. If that deck can come back, Moira X is the way that deck ends up good. So I think that this is cool. This seeds an archetype that we haven't seen in Marvel Snap for a long time, and I'm excited to give it some play. Before we get to the next set of cards, the cards that we think are releasing the same date as the previous 3, please hit that sub button as we do our best to bring you the most Marvel Snap content of anyone, the most consistently. Let's get back to the Datamines, but if you want a Marvel Snap video every day, hit that sub. So coming out, unreleased date, 1/1/28, but we know that Series 4 cards have to be coming out, and we know also that this is a robot-themed season, so it seems like the Series 4 cards will be likely dumped at the start of the season. we have Danger. Danger is a 4/6. Destroy an enemy card here with less power. That's probably usually going to hit something not so great, right? That one seems okay. I think it needs to be a 4/7 to really be any good. I think at a 4/6, I have to buff it, and I don't know if I really want to buff it as an activate. 4 cost is always a difficult spot with activate because you only have 2 turns to play it. If you play it on turn 6, you can't activate it. Obviously, you'll be playing it on turn. You can't play it on 3 without extra shenanigans, so you're playing it on turn 4 or 5, which makes it really hard to buff. I don't know. I'm not really about the life of this card. I am happy to see Danger, a really cool X-Men character. This is like the personified Danger Room coming to Marvel Snap. So like, it's a cool card. I'm happy it exists, but I don't think this one's going to be very good. Speaking of not very good, actually this one might be very good. Awesome Andy is a 2/1. This will be another Series 4 card. Andy's just basically a giant childlike robot. Activate, give one of your cards at each other location, plus 2 power. So that's a 2/5. This is sort of an on-board version of our friend, I lost her name, the 2/3 that gives plus 2 to 2 cards in hand, but you can't play them next turn. That card. Name is just not coming to mind. But this is another version of that. It's got less power overall. That one will play for a 2/7. This will play it for a 2/5. But this is basically guaranteed to be able to let you play cards. Again, eventually we're going to get a buff deck that works. I can easily see Awesome Andy being a part of that. This card seems really kind of solid with Moira. You play a card on the left, you play a card on the right. Because this is an activate, you do this and Moira in the same lane, and you get these huge buffs on these other cards. That seems like it's probably pretty cool. You can also use this to make like Gladiator 10 to make Scar cheaper. There's a lot of little uses like this. I think of the Series 4 cards, this one is definitely better than Danger. And you know, I'm happy to see Awesome Andy, a really cool Fantastic Four card, get some buff. Get some love. Next up, we've got Karima Shapandar, the Omega Sentinel. This is another of the House of X, Powers of X series of like Krakoa era of X-Men characters. The Omega Sentinel will likely be coming out. She is a 4/3, not a 3/3, excuse me. Activate, afflict the highest power enemy card here with -7 power, which means she's a 4/10. You're happy to play a 4/10. She is, however, an afflict card, and I don't know if afflict can afford to run her anymore. That's my real concern with her is like afflict has so many good 4-drops. Is she better as a 4/10 than Man-Thing? No. We don't really run Man-Thing in those decks. Is she better than Laufey? No. Is she better than Anti-Venom? Probably not. Is she better than Malekith? No. So I don't know what to do with her. I do know one extra thing I can do with her. She's probably really good with Merlin. Any card that's like a 4/3 ends up being really good with Activate, or on reveal ends up being good with Merlin because you get their ability off, right? You play her, you trigger her ability, and then you can use one of the Merlin spells, the Polymorph, to make her a 5-drop. And that does seem like it has some extra value. -7 is a lot, and thus she does have some potential, even if I don't think she's likely to be great. I'm a little sad to see this Omega Sentinel not work with either Master Mold or the Sentinels, though, to be perfectly honest. From here, we go to an Avengers villain, the Super Adaptoid, who basically gets the powers of all the Avengers, a big robot for that. On reveal, steal the text from an enemy activate card here. Since it's an on reveal, it could have use, and it doesn't say that like if the effect was activated, you don't get it anymore. So it could have some use if we end up with an activated meta. I think it's cool that they're doing robots as sort of an activate theme. You activate robots, get it? So like there is that cool little bit of extra synergy here, but this is a very like meta dependent card. If we end up in an activate meta, we'll be happy to have this, but most of the time this isn't a card we give any kind of crap about. Hey, I'll be streaming tonight around 8 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. Please come by and hang out. I'm going to be playing some Dormammu games. I'll see you then. If you'd like to enter to win a season pass, all you have to do is tell me your favorite card that was datamined this month. Your favorite of the September cards is the way to win a season pass. Let's keep going to Bastion. Yep, the main villain of X-Men 97 is here, and, you know, Operation Zero Tolerance. Bastion is coming out 9/9, a week after all the previous cards. He is our Series 5 Spotlight card. 4/5 on reveal, add copies of your other cards here to your hand, set their cost to 2 and power to 3. I can see that being decent. I don't know if it's going to be good, but I could see that being decent. Getting like an extra Shadow King seems good. And you can get like some really powerful cards if you can figure out how to like ramp them out early, and then you can use Luke Cage to get their power back to where you want it to, or you can like if you can get an extra like Mystique card once Mystique has taken the ability. I don't know. This one has potential. I'm not entirely sold on it. But making things 2/3 that are already on the board doesn't seem bad, right? It's hard for me to imagine this being great. It's basically turning everything into a Sentinel, right? It's turning a bunch of cards into Sentinels. But I don't know. This has potential. Is it going to be amazing? I'd be very surprised if it was even, like, great. But I think this is good and cool and lets us do some new shenanigans. From here, we have a card I absolutely don't get. Jim Hammond, Human Torch. is coming out. The original Human Torch, the World War II era Human Torch. He's an android, if you didn't get that. He is at the start of each turn, +1 power for each bonus energy you have. So if you have 5 bonus energy, I believe he's going to get 5 power at the start of the next turn. There is a card coming the previous month, the Fallen one, that can set your energy to like 1,000,000 with any buffs. So if you do that with Jim Hammond, you're going to end up with this really big extra Human Torch. But most of the time, I don't think this works. I don't think there's enough ways to get extra energy. And you can spend the energy, right? This isn't Sunspot where you can't spend the energy. You can spend the energy and still get the buff for Jim Hammond. I don't know. I just don't think I really want to. I'd generally rather run Sunspot in my like Moon Girl stuff. We'll have to see if we get more like extra energy stuff, bonus energy, to make this really, really worth it. Next up, Warlock. One of my favorite New Mutants. This is another big one for me. There's some characters I really like here, even if I'm not totally in love with all the designs. Warlock is a 3/4. For each unspent energy, give a card in your hand -1 cost. And yeah, I want this in every Moon Girl She-Hulk deck. Being able to give my being able to skip turn 5 and say -5 cost to my hand seems absolutely amazing. I think Warlock is going to be a must-play in those decks. I think this is very likely to be the card of the month. It's between this thus far and our original Viv card, and of course, obviously, Sparky is really good in that one deck. But I think like Moon Girl decks might actually just be meta with this card. Being able to say, oh, I've got 5 extra energy this turn. Now I've got -5 cost to my cards in hand. And it can hit the same card over and over again. This seems really, really good, y'all. It's very hard for me to imagine Warlock not being at least a near meta threat. Mobius is going to be everywhere this week, but once Mobius goes away, I think Warlock is absolutely amazing. From here, we have Chcasta. She's sort of like girl Vision that Ultron made, who also becomes a hero because Ultron is bad at making things that don't become heroes. She is our 9/30 release, our last release of the month. She is a activate. She's 3/3. Activate and immediately activate your other cards here without using up their activate abilities. If Activate Surfer ends up a thing, this is going to be really good. If Activate Surfer doesn't end up a thing, this is going to be kind of boom. That's it. This is probably a Surfer deck, but it does give us a way to like double activate. I don't know when I want to double activate. Like, I guess an extra Aranya is pretty nice, but I can't play this and move. I don't know. There's no activate card that immediately comes to mind as me wanting Jocasta for, but like, I'm happy to have this kind of design in the game, even if I think it's a little bit overcosted. We also got a card redesigned. We usually only get these in OTAs. The OTA will be Thursday. Rumor has it we're going to get a good one. So let's stay tuned for that on Thursday. But for now, we got SpiderHam, who's a 1/2 Series 3 card right now, not even Series 4. He's no longer turning things into pig. Instead, he's an activate. Replace the text of one random card in your opponent's hand with oink. That seems cool, right? Basically, take a card in the opponent's hand and make it be just take away its text, but don't take away its power or cost. I don't know. That's the same basic thing most of the time, except with Mobius and other shenanigans. That's the same basic thing most of the time as the previous SpiderHam did, except it's a little more elegant. It's got one more power instead of activate instead of non-reveal. I'm for it. I don't think this is like amazing, but I think this is still a good card. It does take away one use for SpiderHam. One of the main uses for SpiderHam was to like bounce it or be able to play it to use Werewolf, and you can't do that. So I'm not sure if this is going to see crazy amount of play, but as a 1/2, it's probably about as good as Iceman now, outside of that bounce shell, outside of moving Werewolf. So I'm happy for this change, even if I don't like, it's not better. It's sort of a like lateral change overall. Next up, we know the new cards mentioned: Zombies Captain Marvel, Zombies Galacti, Zombies Giant Man, Zombies Horde, just I assume a horde of zombies, Zombies Mr. Fantastic, Zombies Power Man, Zombies Sentry, and Zombies Scarlet Witch, which means the Halloween October season is likely to be Marvel Zombies. That's actually fairly exciting. I think Marvel Zombies are a fairly stupid idea. However, for an October season theme, that's really, really great. Also, I have to sneeze, excuse me. Sorry about that. Zombies make me sneeze. All right, let's look at some of my favorite variants. We got 3 different slides of my favorite variants. I think this is immediately the best Esme Cuckoo. It's got a little bit of Dark Phoenix. It's got the other Cuckoos in it. I'm very excited to buy this Esme Cuckoo as soon as it comes out. I also very much like this Blade, who's clearly killing a generic vampire in the background. The Blades we have in the game are a little too static for me, and I really like this one. I like the clean art style. I'm a big fan. And of course, this Tribunal is awesome. Showing him to scale, towering over planets, is really cool. And you might have noticed Tribunal is very often the logo of this channel, so I had to show this Tribunal. We also get 2 new Dan Hips. I am Dan Hip complete in the game, so obviously I'll be getting these 2 cards. We've got an Aranya. I think this Aranya is cute. Not amazing. I don't love the birds. But outside of that, I think this Aranya is cute. I love this Madam Web with Spidey poking his head out from behind. I'm very excited for this Madam Web, who I have a great God Split of. A gold on gold crackle. so I can do that with this Madam Web, and then Aranya is pretty good too, so I will get both of these. We only have one new comic cover. It is Nova from Nova #1. This is the most like classic Nova cover. It's the one everyone knows, and I'm happy to have another cool Nova. Nova actually has a lot of really good variants. Nova is a great character design, and getting the classic Nova from the comics is a great place to go. From here on, we go to Stardust. Stardust is going to be so this is just 3 Heralds of Galactus. I really like the designs of Heralds of Galactus. I don't even know if these are the base art or not, but I like them an awful lot. I think the Stardust is great. He looks very flowy, like he's in the stars, for example. We've got Firelord, the Lord of Fire. This one's great. I love the classic Firelord logo. I didn't know who he was when I first saw him as a kid, and I was always super attracted to the designs of Firelord and Terrax, so that's what got them here. This looks like they were in my imagination as a child, and I'm all for it. If you're not aware, we did a podcast where we went over the designs of all these cards and how good we thought they were a couple weeks ago. If you want to hit the podcast tab here on the channel, I review all the August cards, which seems to be the new Galactus, new Silver Surfer, and Herald of Galactus. That's it for today. We have a Patreon at patreon.com/snapjudgments. I forgot to update the Patreon list for this video. This is actually an update to last month's slide when we did all the previous cards. So I have like a month-old Patreon list, so I'm not going to read that Patreon list today for you. But if you're interested in checking out our Patreon, please do check out patreon.com/snapjudgments. It would mean an awful lot if you showed us some love. And that's going to be today's video. Tomorrow I'll be back with the best Dormammu decks and so much more. Peace.